everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and of course we're joined by author and economic analyst here at WAM, John Sneisen. We are here in Paso Robles, California for a crypto event by Freedom Force International, which he just spoke at. And I had to laugh when I came across this article on Zero Hedge, John, and it says, Maduro, all Venezuelan oil will be sold in Petro cryptocurrency. Okay, so we'll comment on that in a moment. Yeah. But anyway, let's see what the article says. And it says, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro said on state television that Venezuela would put in place in 2019 a program to sell its oil production in the Petro cryptocurrency, which the leader is touting as the first state-backed oil-backed digital currency. And it says, gradually Venezuela will sell all of its oil production in Petro, Maduro said during a visit to Russia. For 2019, Venezuela will have a timetable to sell all of its oil production in the cryptocurrency, its president said. In this way, Venezuela will free itself from the currency used by Washington to create economic pain to other countries and to persecute countries as it does with Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, and Russia, Maduro said. El Petro, however, is seen by analysts and experts as nothing but a scam and another effort by Venezuela to skirt sanctions and mask the inability to overhaul the ailing domestic economy. According to the International Monetary Fund, Venezuela's economy will collapse by 18% this year, while inflation is expected to be at 1,317,000%. And as we've gone into before, it's much higher than that in actuality when you add it up. Same thing in the United States, and not to the same extent, but in the United States, of course, if you look at the shadow stats.
Yeah, the way they used to look at inflation, like they've just been fiddling the numbers. So, and I had a guy actually asking me about the numbers. How can I present government numbers when I don't really trust the banks, kind of thing? Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like but you still got to use their numbers.
Well, I mean, okay, so the claim is that using banks' numbers to call out banks is wrong because the bank's numbers are wrong. But with that said, if the bank's own numbers say that they're doomed, then I don't know if that's helping the bank so much, which is why the bank doesn't release a lot of information. But anyway, I want to get into the story a bit, John, because I find it interesting that central planning, out-of-control central planning, laws, regulations, taxes, and just this vast printing of currency, it's gotten to such an insane extent that we see millions and millions and millions of percentage points in actuality with the Venezuelan Bolivar when you compare it to Bitcoin as well. And I find it interesting that as people in the country are revolting and going to free markets and using dash cryptocurrencies to trade and going and bartering on the street and saying, you know what, the hell with the government. I don't give a damn what the government says. I'm doing what I want and I need to feed my family. Screw these laws. That Venezuelans, Maduro thinks is actually delusional enough to be like, well, the Petro cryptocurrency that we should totally trust after, we destroyed the Bolivar is going to be backed by oil, and we're going to do all this oil trading because those pesky United States, central planners, which are doing the same thing as Venezuela, are attacking Iran, which is doing the same thing as Venezuela, and, Cuba, which is doing the same thing as Venezuela. Central planning, point and fact, checkmate. It's exactly how you destroy a country. John, can you go into the story?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, Josh. And of course, the Petro itself is such a scam. Like, how can you believe that they actually are backing their oil with oil? So this is interesting. So I said that it was going to only take Petro for the oil. Well, oil is, so the Petro is backed by oil. So we're buying the Petro backed by the oil that you're buying. That doesn't even make sense. What the heck is going on over there in Venezuela? Clearly, he's been doing a lot of cocaine lately and some crazy because I don't know what the heck is going on with his mind, thinking that he's gonna have anybody wanting to use the Petro to buy his oil. Like, it's insane. Like, why would anybody take that? He's just gonna dig another massive hole in the economy because nobody's gonna want to have any Venezuelan oil. And of course, the big problem is also that they are bankrupt, and the big banks like Citibank and others that are down there in Venezuela owe so much, like $48 billion that they actually owe, that they've lent out to the to the Venezuelan government, and they can't pay it. So that's of course why they see Venezuela as a huge threat, Josh, is because they owe to the banking system in the United States.
But guys, it's cheap. Petro's cheap. It's to the moon, guys. You get a big opportunity. No, seriously, this is exactly one of the major issues that I see in this whole system, is that it's a debt slavery, it's a central planning, it's a creation of nonsense, and now they're backing their oil. I mean, after all these IMF loans and this vast debt that they have with oil to a whole bunch of different countries, including Russia, by the way, and it goes to show that as long as you trust government, they're always going to find a new way to try and enslave you in debt, and you got to break free from that system and not continuously perpetuate it with, Petro Coin, that's going to be going right to the moon. No, I think that people are waking up to this, and we see that in Venezuela, where there is a monetary revolution without government, and government is desperate to hold on to whatever is left of that monetary system, and they know it's failing, and they know that they have to step it up. And these people are using crypto, maybe they'll trust government crypto. It's so insane.
Josh, the insane thing is that they actually want to take payment in Petro, but the problem is the Petro is backed by the oil that they're buying. Where does that make sense? It's unbelievable that anybody would even it doesn't make sense. You're backing something with what you're buying. It's again, over in Venezuela, the death of the Bolivar is, of course, have happened, and there's millions upon millions. I'm probably looking at billions soon in inflation, and nobody wants that currency anymore. And that's the problem. That's why we're seeing so huge inflation as well. On top of the oil, they're being so oil dependent. It's a ridiculous place that they completely destroy the economy with their collectivist totalitarian regime, and now they're trying to find corrupt, Ponzi schemes in order to try to save the economy, which they can't.
Well, and it's basically these guys. It kind of reminds me of the people that are tokenizing bankruptcy. With cryptos, it's so crazy.
Left there after that bankruptcy. Come on.
God. Hey, it actually worked for a few people. Amazingly, I talked to Charlie Shrem about that.
There might be some. Yeah, I don't know.
It's an insane scheme. Anyway, it goes to show though that there is a monetary revolution without government, without these people being able to capitalize on it as much as they usually could, because in the case of today, where we have these Venezuelas and these Argentinas, we have the age of information. So sure, Venezuela has gone under 10 times or so in the last 100 years, but more than that, technically, multiple hyperinflations and then just inflationary events and currency collapses. But now there's an age of information where we have solutions that aren't going to be dependent on government and banks to save us from the problems they created in the first place. So as people are enslaved in Venezuela and socialism comes to its ultimate end, and they blame the United States, for example, on the capitalist empire, which, by the way, is an oxymoron. Government and capitalism cannot go hand in hand. But this idea that, the United States did this. Well, if the U.S. destroyed Venezuela, then the U.S. destroyed Venezuela by implementing socialist policies and centralizing the currency into oblivion, which still case and point. It always goes back to that same tactic of pushing people into debt servitude and people having ultimate collectivism, thinking that they can fix all the problems that the collectivism created in the first place. Fix cancer with cancer. It's organized crime. It is no better. Actually, it's much worse than the cartels that are around Venezuela. They've killed many more people. John, summing this up, what's your bottom line for the people watching in Venezuela? And they're the monkey coin there, and you got Dash and all that kind of stuff. What do you think?
There's some exciting things going on in Venezuela, and I really see hopefully the populace is going to take to finding solutions to this corrupt fiat currency system that they created in Venezuela, and going to look elsewhere. The gold and silver has performed extremely well, but Bitcoin has it's just ridiculous. I think it's $190 billion. It was yesterday when I was looking at it for Bitcoin. No, sorry, not dollars, but bolivars. So it just shows you how useless the currency is.
And Dash is being used even more than Bitcoin in Venezuela, which is an incredible new feat where most stores are taking it, and it's a totally free market. And it's what is the government going to do? You're going to enforce your rule on everyone? You just can't. It's impossible.
Yeah, no, that's the paradigm shift that people needs to have, is the dependency and thinking that government is any type of solution. That's a problem, because the government is not the solution. They are the problem itself, and we can't just fix a problem by creating more of the problem. It's just
really. I wanted my neighbor's house, so you got to go to the organized crime cartel and demand it. I want free stuff.
Well, I guess you can, but I don't support that at all, and I just think it is a stupid idea trying to see that the government is going to try to fix especially it's just beyond stupidity. This Petro's coin there, where they're actually taking it. I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I just can't fathom how stupid this is. Like, you're taking the Petro coin is backed by the oil in Venezuela, and you're buying Venezuelan oil with it. So, like, why aren't you just buying it with currency?
Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and this is what it's all coming down to now. I'm dying from the heat. I know you're all very jealous of that, by the way, but I'm going to complain nonetheless, so we're going to get going here because I'm in a blazer and it's hot.
Yeah, and
it's very hot.
Changing skin color soon, so yeah.
Sure. No. Norwegians, so you'll be able to see through them soon enough.
No, but anyways, back to this. You got to protect yourself. Get off the banking grid. Get off the government grid. Don't pay taxes to these corrupt governments down there in Venezuela. You're just perpetrating. Well, actually, I don't think very many people actually are paying taxes down there, to be honest with you. So that's good in the first place. But anyways, you just get off the grid, start to work in your communities, become self-sufficient, away from the government control, and then the government will just slowly disappear because they become irrelevant.
Yeah, responsibility goes hand in hand with freedom. Rule yourself, folks. Decentralize everything. Taxation is theft and government is organized crime. Always remember that. Don't fall for it because you want a little thing here or there. Hey, it's G. Edward Griffin. Anyway, so we will wrap it up now, and good to get a video out while we're out here. We're going to try and get a few more out. We've got a few people that we want to interview, and just stay tuned for as much as possible. We have no idea what we're going to do next. We're just going to wing it as we usually do, and we hope you enjoy watching us scatter around trying to actually get content out to all of you, but it's always fun, and we're always happy to do it. So anyway, thanks for going into this with us, John, and until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson and John Sneisen signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored on YouTube, as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. Also, check out our Bitcoin address below as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check us out at steemit.com. We're at Josh Sigurdson. It's a future of social media where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency. Steem, that is. So make sure to check us out there. Make sure to join us at Anarchapulco 2019 with people like Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, of course, Jeff Berwick, Vid Jedlicka. So many incredible speakers are going to be speaking. It's just a massively growing event. It is something you have to see to believe. So make sure to check it out below and save money on your tickets by using promo code WAM, that's WAM, and I hope to see you there. Also, check out our newsletter as we are getting demonetized and censored and all that. We don't know what comes next, so we have an email, worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Send us an email with subject line YES, YES, and we will include you in the newsletter where we will continuously keep you updated. So until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.